Broadcasting live on the UnitedWest.org AM radio network and simulcasting on DirecTV, iHeartRadio, Roku, and the World Wide Web, this is Enemies of the State with Tom Trento.
Welcome to a special edition of our show today, Enemies of the State. We're going to be broadcasting today, Monday, March 16th. Tomorrow, the 17th, St. Patrick's Day for a good portion of the Christian world. And then on the 18th, Wednesday, 3 days of election coverage of the elections in Israel. You see, we believe that what is taking place in the Middle East, in particular in Israel, from a national security perspective, impacts every single American's life. You may not know that, but you don't know a lot of stuff that we have to try to bring to you. That's our job, and we appreciate your support in helping us do that. So tune in every day, 4 o'clock. Actually, tomorrow, on Tuesday the 17th, we're going to have 2 hours on the internet. We only own an hour on the radio, WSBR, Sunny Boca Raton, 740 a.m., 1 hour on the radio tomorrow, 2 hours on the internet. And then Wednesday, we're going to wrap it all up because the elections are over at 10 o'clock Israel time, 6 hours ahead, 10 o'clock tomorrow, the 17th. So what time will it be here? What, 4 o'clock in the afternoon?
Don't ask me all these questions, Tom.
4 o'clock in the afternoon.
No, it's over at 10 o'clock at night. I thought, didn't Arie say that the polls are open till midnight over there?
No, till 10
he
o'clock.
Said 10 o'clock, so it's
4 o'clock in the afternoon here.
Yeah.
It closes, takes, 3 or 4 hours to sort everything out. And early the next morning, late that night, late our night, probably by midnight, we'll know what's going on midnight tomorrow.
Any hanging shads, you think?
Man.
Going to be any hanging shads?
Hanging knishes. There'll be hanging knishes. Who knows? I have a hanging chad I have 4 of them I saved from the 2000 election here in Palm Beach County. We got some exciting stuff for you. We have some of our regulars that are going to be on each day over the 3 days. Then we have some others that we're bringing on to do reports. But in order to set the tone for the area which we're going to be discussing, the world in which the Israelis live, and the world in which we will be visiting later this week for a couple of weeks, I want to bring you over to our giganto media board.
Hold on.
Can we do that yet, Mr. Director?
Just a minute. Are we doing it through yours?
It's not a media board. It's not a little PowerPoint thing. It's a giganto media wall. How's that?
Okay. Then that'll work.
We need to come up with a name for it.
Media wall.
Media wall. That works. Can I go?
Right.
That's our own little western wall. How's that?
That was a little weird there. That was a little weird. All right, here's...
Hey, it's our own west wall.
It's the West Wall. There we go.
The United West Wall.
There's the United West Wall. This is a third grade color drawing of the Middle East. That's the best map we can come up with.
Well, you said a map. It's clear.
Last
it's
week it was perfect. Today it's a third grade map.
We got to step up.
You could have asked for another map of the Middle East.
Look at this studio. I mean, this is Al Jazeera level studio, and we got third grade color.
All right,
maybe
if we can hire a
kids.
graphics artist.
I know, we didn't have
thing.
enough time to change that map.
Make Libya green kitties and make Saudi Arabia pink. And make Iran pink too, because they're the same.
Are you happy you have a map?
In any event, the blue is the water. What's the gray? What is the gray all
It's
about?
other stuff that
Irrelevant
we don't care
countries.
To be conquered later.
to be conquered later.
Okay, that's the map, the bird's eye view of the map. Let's drill down a little bit and get in a little closer to what we're going to be dealing with over the next 3 days.
You got another map or what?
Yes.
Go ahead. There you go. Okay. Which map you want to go to? That
All right, that looks good. Now we're getting close to the land in which we speak. Here's the country of Israel. Way down the bottom there is Eilat, and there has been some chatter regarding a potential terrorist attack toward the Passover time. We'll get into that probably when we're in Israel. Take a look at that. Let's go now even more deeply into the country of Israel. Go to that 49 square mile little city called, there it is, the Old City. That's a very good picture of the old city in Jerusalem.
Is he happy with this map?
The various quarters, the Christian quarter, Armenian quarter, Jewish quarter, and the Mohammedan quarter. And back in Purim, which was about 10 days ago, I believe, Feast of Lots, the book of Esther, we did some stories on that. There was a terrorist attack in Jerusalem. And in light of tomorrow's election, it's critically important to recognize that even though the security issues may be getting pushed off the front pages of the Israelis due to social concerns, social issues, economic issues, housing, all of that, which is very legitimate. We understand that. For many people in the West, we're very concerned about the security situation in Israel because we know it is a testing ground for Islamic jihadis to see what they can get away with and what they can use in other parts of the world.
You don't really have to worry about having a house if you don't have the land.
If you don't have the land. And if you have independent jihadis doing a sudden jihad syndrome, through the magazine we've been looking at the Beak, and we're going to continue to look at the magazine of the Islamic State, you will see the footage. We're going to show you the footage now that was just released today, 16th of March, by the law enforcement agencies. And here is closed circuit TV, and you're going to look in the top right-hand side. This is the jihadi, 22-year-old Palestinian, took his car, ran over border police. In Israel, there are the regular national police, there's the border police, there's the IDF. There's a whole series, like any country, of various law enforcement agencies and people. The border police deal with the border issues all over Israel. 5 women, I believe, border guards, were simply walking, and you'll see coming screen left, a car come flying through and just run them over.
Here it comes.
Terrorist attack. Take a look.
Boom. And that was the attack right there. We'll play it again. We'll start it from the beginning and watch. You can see the people walk in from the left-hand side of the car coming from the left-hand side, the people coming in from the right. And here comes the car. We'll freeze it on the people for a second to show you the people again. Right there. And all of a sudden, here comes the attacker. Boom. And just runs right over him. It's truly horrific.
All right, if you let the video play out a little bit, immediately people go to take care of those who were hit. That car had been doing 50 miles an hour. I mean, that thing just ran them over. Now, thankfully, no one died. None of the women died. Yep. But he got out of the car, the jihadi, with an axe that he purchased in the old city, and he was going to prosecute an axe attack. Where do you get these themes of using your automobile and using an axe? Where the heck does that come from? Out of the clear blue sky?
Oh, only the Quran, Tom.
Only the Quran, Tom.
Maybe not the car, but the slicing of the heads is very Quranical.
Yeah, and the magazines that we have been presenting as intelligence for the Islamic State and for the instruction of Islamic jihadis lays out specifically to use your automobile and to use these kind of medieval weapons, because they strike fear. Somebody running down the street hitting you with an axe is a fearful situation. So that's the environment that Israelis have to live with on a regular basis because of the hatred of their neighbors. And there's an election tomorrow. Now, we have with us our good friend, Barry Shaw. We'll bring him on. Get an up-to-the-minute report here on the 16th day before the elections in light of the security issues and then the other concerns that Israelis have. Barry, how are you today, sir?
Hi, Tom. Glad to be with you and your viewers.
Good to be with you again. Thank you for always taking the time. Your analysis and reports have been simply wonderful, effective, informative. Give us a feel right now. We know you guys are a bit ahead of us, so toward the end of the 16th Monday, what's life like in Israel?
Okay, let me set the scene for your viewers, Tom. It's evening here in Israel, and tomorrow Israel wakes up and to national elections, and the 3 main issues are really security, economy, and the uncertainty of all the 2 of them. Now, just to explain to your viewers the complications of the Israeli electoral system. we are likely to get one of four options. Either it will be a Bibi right-wing victory, or it will be a Herzog-Livni, a left-wing victory, or it could be a unity government between Bibi, Herzog, and Livni, or we could have no government. And no one here is discounting, Tom, any of these four possibilities.
Barry, how do you have
no government?
How do you have no
How
government?
you have no government? What is it?
that?
Just dissolve?
Well,
or
you
what?
have no government because of this. If, for instance, a Livni Herzog camp beat Bibi by 4, 5, 6 seats, for instance, they could be in a position that they cannot form a government, because the way you form a government over here is you have to get a party or parties of over 60 seats in a 120-seat Knesset. And let me put it this way, the Orthodox religious parties have said they're not going to go into a government with Herzog, Livni. The Arabs today said they're not going to go into a government with Herzog, Livni. And it could well be that the Herzog, Livni camp cannot come up with a government. At the same time, it may well be that there may be two of the smaller parties who would create a bloc and decide not to go in neither with Bibi or neither with Herzog, and we could have, you talk about hanging chads before, we're going to have a hanging Knesset here, in which case we could be down if Rivlin, the president, cannot bring parties together to create a workable government. We could be on for new elections in 6 months' time. This is how finely balanced it is tonight.
Wow.
So what happens?
wow.
So what happens if there's no government in 6 months? What happens? Is there a prime minister? There's nothing, and who negotiates deals with, who pushes the button to send the attack over on Iran, or nothing happens? What happens?
Yeah, well, the government in place continues as a temporary government until another government is formed. But I think what could happen, to answer your question, is that the what we call the threshold of votes. Right now, you have to have at least 4 seats, enough votes for 4 seats in the Knesset before your party gets into the Knesset. This could be raised to 5 or 5.5, which make it harder for some of the smaller parties in the next election to get past the threshold and get a place in the Knesset.
Hey, I have a graphic here that kind of breaks down how crazy and how many political parties are. If Mark puts it up, Barry could probably comment on
Yeah,
this
let's go through that.
ridiculous
Also,
thing.
get Herzog and Livni. Get their picture so that we can show who we're talking. Everybody knows what Bibi is.
I have Herzog and Bibi right here.
Okay.
But
Right.
check out this graphic, and maybe Barry can make some sense of this.
All right, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Right. Okay. So let me put it this way. For Herzog, that's the guy with the glasses, number 24. Are you with me?
Yeah,
Yes,
go ahead.
If he wanted to create a government, he would probably slip over the Likud, slip over the Arab Joint Lib, certainly go to Lapid, number 12, the good-looking guy with the grey hair, Yesh Atid. So if he gets 12 votes, keep going. He certainly won't have Bennett, the Bata UD. He will probably try and charm Moshe Kachlon, the guy with the big teethy grin, with the 11 seats. And he would certainly go for Shas with Arie Deli with 7, maybe Meretz with 6. Okay? As I said, the ultra-Orthodox won't go with him. Israel Beitenu might. So if you do the sums with me, guys, if you're talking about those parties, I'm just doing the sums here, you got 24, you're ending up with about 54, 6. He'd need to drag in another party to get over the 60 threshold. Now let's try the combination with Bibi, okay? Bibi
This is a great graphic,
with
by the way.
21 seats.
Yeah,
You
this
with
is
me?
Barry, wait, hang on. What we're doing, folks, it is...
This is
Mark.
where you do the number crunching, Tom.
All right, hang on 1 second. I have to go over here to look at the clock. Can I go over here?
No. Yeah.
20
4:19.
after.
All right,
20 after
after
the hour.
It's 20 after. I need a clock up there, I think. It's 20 minutes after the hour on the 16th. Tom Trento, your host, Enemies of the State. Special edition, first day of a 3-day look at the elections in Israel. And you're on WSBR Radio, 740 AM on the dial. WHFS in Tampa Bay, 1010 on the dial there. Internet worldwide, theunitedwest.org, teapartycommunity.com. Breitbart TV, parts of this will be up there. We have with us our analyst in Israel right now, Barry Shaw. We found this phenomenal graphic that makes sense out of the complexity of the Israeli system. There's 120 seats in the Knesset. We will be in the Knesset in about a week, about 2 weeks. We'll be visiting the Knesset, the United West team. In order to form a government, you have to have 60 seats. So each party, whatever your particular desire is to live life, you get a few people, you get elected. Barry, let me ask you this. In order to have a party, how does the party start? Let's say the Likud party, which is the Netanyahu party right now. Does anyone ever run just to make it into the Knesset? Then they figure out what party they want to be in? Or do you have to be in a party in order to run?
No, this is the Jewish genius, because although some of the parties are made up of huge egos, we don't have the individual politician system here. So if somebody comes up to represent a section of Israeli society or has a certain sort of beef, for instance, Moise Kachlon, he wants to make reforms of the economy, but he has to get enough mandate, enough supporters in order to make it into the Knesset. So he rounds up like-minded people with him as a leader to run on a certain platform. And then he has to then recruit in all the major towns and the major centers the workers who are going to work for him in order to get the message across to the voters. So it's an expensive and lengthy operation. But basically, for instance, Kachlon, although he's got 20 people on his list, his main goal is for him and him alone to become the minister of the economy.
Okay.
You may get other people, of course, as you can see on your screen. His message has been successful because the economy is a major issue here. He could get between 11 and 12 seats, in which case he would head the party and he would have another 10 or 11 or 12 members of the party in the Knesset to support his platform.
All right, walk us through a Netanyahu win tomorrow. How does that happen?
Right, okay. Well, look, I'm looking at 65 seats, because if you take Bibi with 21, you go down the list, you leap over the Arab list and with 13, and Yair Lapid with 12. He would take in, almost reluctantly, he'd take in Naftali Bennett with the 11. He would certainly charm Kachlon, the one I spoke about before, with the 11 to be his minister of the economy. He would then take in the one down below, the 7, which is the Shas party, one of the religious party. He would leap over the lady who represents Meretz, which is the Israeli far left. He would then take in both that the United Torah party with 6. He would take in Eli Ishai with 5, and he would certainly go with Lieberman, with young Israel Beitenu with 4, or maybe 5. That way he could get 65. In other words, this is why I point out to your viewers, Bibi would come second to Herzog Glibnicamp, but he could be the one that could still have the coalition.
Okay, now when the Israelis go into the booths tomorrow, what time does the voting start?
Voting starts here at 8 a.m. in the morning.
All right, 8 o'clock, and it ends 10 o'clock tomorrow night?
It's a holiday here. No work. Everybody's got off work tomorrow, so they're going to be voting and drinking and eating and shopping and going to the beach.
Okay, so when you go in, and we're gonna let you go after this. This has been fascinating. When you go in tomorrow into the booth, what do you look at? Do you get a piece of paper? Do you get cartoons like that, and you push their heads, or what does it look like?
I'm going to show you here, Tom, if I can get it on camera. Hold on, let me try.
Back it away a little bit.
Back it up a little bit.
Oh, so that's your ballot that you get.
Yeah, see at the top in Hebrew, it's got my name.
Okay.
It's got my address in Hebrew, and down at the bottom over here, it's got the polling station where I go to to cast my vote. Hold on a minute if I could do it.
It's in
Point it out for
Hebrew.
you. I'm sorry it's not going on very good, but let me.
Now you vote
There we go.
for
Here we go. Now everybody gets that card. You go with that card, with it gives your identity with your ID number to your polling station, and you cast your vote.
and
And
you
the
vote
voting closes, Tom, at 10 p.m. Israel time.
and you vote for one party, one check.
Yeah,
That's
we
it.
used to have a system where we had two votes. One, we could pick the prime minister, and the other one, the party. This year, it's the party.
Just the party.
Now, my
Okay.
question is this. It's in Hebrew. How is Obama going to have his SEIU thugs fill out these ballots properly?
His team have got the money here, the hundreds and thousands, if not millions of dollars, to recruit all the young Israeli guys who speak the Hebrew on the B-15, and they're trying to swing it, as you know, guys know, over to, it's all political interference, Chicago style, and trying to anybody but Bibi camp over here. This is why it's really everything to play for. The campaigning, I can tell you finally, Tom, is this, that there was a huge rally in Tel Aviv last night on the right wing. And basically the message from Bibi is, yes, you may like to go for one of the right-wing parties, but you really have to vote for the Kodem for Bibi, because he has to narrow the gap between him and the Herzog-Libni camp, and then later on he could bring in some of the right-wing party as well. But if the gap is too big, you know, you could vote for a smaller right-wing party and wake up in the morning with the left-wing in power.
Oh boy! Oh boy! Oh boy! All right. On that note, Barry Shaw, we're going to let you go. We will touch base with you tomorrow. And
Right.
by the time we talk to you tomorrow, it should be toward the end of it. Now, is Israel like the United States, where there's exit polling and you know, throughout the day
Yeah.
you'll have a feel, or no?
Yeah, I'm going to be, I'll be with you tomorrow, and I'll be with you also probably, you know, after the vote, when the vote comes in, 5 minutes after. I hope to bring you immediately the TV exit polls.
Excellent, excellent. Barry
I'm
Shaw,
also,
thank you.
Tom, by the way, tomorrow, try to give you the feeling, having gone to the polling station and stations, to get the feeling of what people are saying as they're coming out from voting as well. I'll give you that one tomorrow.
Absolutely. Really appreciate that. And we will see you, Barry Shaw, tomorrow. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going back over here, Marky.
Go ahead. Fire away.
Somebody from Israel was calling my iPad. I don't even know how that happens. But I heard this crazy noise. I'm going, what are those guys doing? You know? And my iPad is ringing. I don't want it to ring. But in any event, 28 minutes after,
You wouldn't let me fix it earlier.
Tom Trento here, and Barry Shaw. That graphic is great, Damon. I mean, that's very, very helpful.
Even a blind squirrel finds a nut every now and then.
Yeah. Speaking of nuts, is Ganoe around or what?
Hey, is that Hershey's with the nuts or without?
Hershey's with the nuts, of course.
Yes, Hershey. Almonds. Hershey's.
Oh, we got Hershey's with the nuts on the line, actually.
I'm off to Costco to buy nuts and Hershey's for Ganoe and everybody else. So let's bring him on. Where is he?
Hold on a second.
Is he in the Great Wall of China over
not on
there?
the Great Wall yet.
The Great Wall of the
he's-
West?
He needs to back away from the camera just a touch.
Yeah,
Wouldn't
yeah.
hurt him.
There you go. Okay. There he is. Okay, we got
Our
it. So come on over. Come
our
on over.
Hebrew hand model.
Come on over. Our Hebrew
whoa.
hand model. Come on over.
Where
Come
is
on over
he?
to the wall. Come on over to the wall. There you go.
There he is. All right.
Yeah.
Let's see those cuticles.
Yeah.
Let's see those cuticles.
See, he can't. He's holding something.
He's holding his.
All right.
there you go, there you
Woo, man. Ladies and gentlemen, Michael Ganoe, Hershey's for Heroes. That's his ministry as a Christian to the Israeli Defense Forces. He gets people to send Hershey bars with nuts and without nuts. And the people write little messages of hope and change and encouragement to the soldiers. And then Michael takes these around Israel and distributes them. We found some great footage the other day. If you could find that, Mark, while we're doing this.
What footage is that, Tom?
Remember of him, he and I up there. Now, we'll do it another time when we have time.
Oh, you're talking about on the thing.
But he also has a radio program, Insight for Israel, where he goes and does serious interviews around the country, trying to help Israelis deal with the terror issues and the leftist issues and all of that. He's in the middle of everything in Israel, and he was in the middle in Rabin Plaza last night of 1 billion people. Michael, tell us what happened last night.
Tom, it's great to see you guys. Can you hear me?
Yes, hear you perfectly.
Okay, great. Last night there was 100,000 people there at this rally where Bibi spoke, and great men like Neftali Bennett, who believe in the sovereignty and security of the Jewish state, and nothing else matters. Nothing else matters if you do not have a sovereign, secure state. And they did a fantastic job. Contrary to the left, which had the same type of event but only brought out 20,000 people. Wow. And so it was very electric. It was a great time to be there. Tomorrow morning, I will be up early. I've actually watched my Insight to Israel page on Facebook. I'm going to have some interviews from an event, actually from a political event I was at the other day. Some great interviews. And then tomorrow morning, I'll be up early at the polls, interviewing people, and headed to several events all throughout the day.
All right, and you're able to Skype. Are you able to Skype from the field, or you got to find a hotspot someplace?
Well, actually, I have, thank God I have internet on my phone. I have a SIM card in my pad. So I'll be doing, at certain times during the day, which I'll wait till kind of like mid-morning in the United States, I'm going to try and see what my results are for Ustream, where you can, I'll put the link will show up on Facebook and Twitter, and you can click on that and see exactly what I'm seeing live.
Okay, now you have a Ustream account, right?
I do.
Okay, because we've used Ustream a lot. It's very good. It works well. Do you have any footage from last night? Any video footage from that, or no?
Actually, are you guys able to pull up my Facebook page?
Sure, yeah.
Sure.
There's a video on there from last night.
All right, we're going to play that in a minute. You could set it up, narrate it. And tomorrow, so you're going to travel where? Primarily to Tel Aviv area, or what?
Well, there's two big events. Two of the big news channels here in Israel are going to be having events. One is going to be at the Knesset, and the other will be in Rabin Square, where this event was held last night for the right wing. So I'll be hitting both places.
And the Knesset obviously is down in Jerusalem, up in Jerusalem, and so you're going to be going back between Jerusalem and Tel Aviv.
Correct, and the polls close here at 10 o'clock Israel's time.
Okay, what's the feel for things right now, Michael? What's going on?
Let me tell you, living here in Tel Aviv is sometimes such a headache and makes me nauseous. Because, listen, I literally, on this commercial I did yesterday, I literally had people repeating back to me the mantra of V15. They didn't necessarily say hope and change, but the way the leftist media has been portraying this country to their own people, everyone's destitute, children are starving, blah, 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 blah. Look, you're always going to have starving people. But the unemployment rate here is at 5.4%. This is the center of the world when it comes to startups. Companies come from all over the world to do their business here because the Israeli people work very hard, and I know it's expensive. I know it is. But I'll tell you, I'll put my bank statement up to any Israelis any day who is currently working full time. And that's what I tell them. Be thankful for what you have after 2,000 years of no homeland. And let me add to this by saying, there was something I was going to say. But anyway, the media, the leftist media and V15, I'm telling you, their campaign has been extremely, they've spent a lot of money. And if you're watching Fox News, the investigations, okay, I appreciate that, but you're a little too late. Yeah. And it's very sad for the people in this country who are being lied to by the left.
Yeah, Michael Ganoe's talking about the Senate investigation of Jeremy Byrd's 270 Strategies organization, which was basically an Obama front group coming over to the United States and assisting the left in defeating Netanyahu, which again, it's a free country, but whether or not it was done within the laws of the United States with taxpayer money and the laws of Israel, that's what's being investigated. But as Michael said, a little late right now because that hope and change message has been indoctrinated into the minds of the Israelis. We have that footage ready to go at Rabin plaza last night where Michael Ganoe was. Tell us what we're looking at, Michael.
And because the traffic was so bad, there were literally hundreds and hundreds of buses where people came from all over the country. It was amazing. And I'll tell you, the attitude of everyone, there is, these folks know after 2,000 years of no homeland that whatever it takes, they must defend it. And that's the way they view it. A lot of these people came from Judea and Samaria, otherwise known as the West Bank by the leftists and the Muslims, and they are proud of this country and everything that it does for the world. If you want to see unity, if you hang out with the right wing, those are the folks you want to spend time with.
It's pretty interesting, Michael. We're looking at the footage, and that's a 20-something crowd. I thought the 20-something crowd was co-opted by Obama and by the left.
You know, let me say this, and you've seen this, Tom, in the times that you've been here. Your strongest fighters in the military come from Judea and Samaria. The ones that move up the ranks and that find themselves in the Mossad and other government entities or military entities, they come from Judea and Samaria. It's amazing because they know they must protect the land. And these young people, they're the best. These are the ones that pray for this country, that stand for this country at all costs, and they're not willing to compromise with the rest of the world and with Islam for the sake of a false peace.
And that's a very important point, ladies and gentlemen, and very similar here in the United States. We get most of the men and women who join the United States military, and a disproportionate amount come from the southern states, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia. They understand fighting. They understand the red, white, and blue. You don't get those numbers from Los Angeles or New York. Well, in a very real sense...
Not a lot of guys from Harvard enlisting.
True. In a very real sense, Tel Aviv is very similar culturally and demographically to a major urban area here in the United States. And the Judea, Samaria, those are the more rural areas where you're living amongst many enemy, and you've got to fend for yourself. And those are where the Israeli fighters come from. And those are the ones that are down in that plaza last night, standing with Netanyahu, understanding that, yeah, maybe I can't afford the 4-bedroom apartment or home that I would like, but this guy's got it right on Iran. This guy's got it right on Islamic Jihad. And we ain't going to start negotiating with the bad guys because we live with the bad guys. This is what's going on tomorrow. Michael, before we let you go here, take a minute. Tell us about Hershey's for Heroes and how folks can get involved.
Let me say this real quick. Also, one thing you'll never see in the media in the States or even here: over 50% of the Muslims or the Arabs that are Israeli citizens don't pay taxes. Those here in Tel Aviv that complain about things being so expensive, and it is, the root cause of the problem in this country is caused by the neighbors that they cannot do business with and by those who refuse to be an additive to society here and live in peace and harmony.
Oh, interesting. Very
so
interesting.
you can give, I wanted to state those facts because
That's a
those
good
are
point.
things you won't normally hear. But you can give to Hershey's for Heroes. I need Americans to step up, to put a note on Hershey's chocolate bars. I need your church, your synagogue, your friends, your family, and your civic groups to get together, buy some Hershey's chocolate bars, share the burden, share the load, and put some notes on those chocolate bars. You can go to the About section of Hershey's for Heroes and find out how to do that specifically. And please, love these soldiers. They're the best, and they're hearing the worst from the rest of the world. And this is the most humane, compassionate, loving military in the world, and I'll tell you, I'm proud to be among them.
All right, Michael Ganoe. See you tomorrow, man, and we'll get those on-the-ground reports from you. 2-hour special tomorrow. Take care. Stay safe.
See you next week.
See you next week.
Tomorrow? What do you mean next week?
I'll see him next week in
Oh,
person.
see you.
In person, I'll see him.
Literally see you. Okay.
I'll touch him.
Okay. Ganoe, ladies and gentlemen. He gets ganocious sometimes. Yeah, part of the situation with Tel Aviv, and if you have not been to Israel, if you go to Tel Aviv, you think you're in New York City. I mean, it's very, very similar in many respects, from the dress to the restaurants to the music to the culture to the beaches to
the
bikinis,
pricing,
everything. And we will be attending going to a place. I'm going to take you guys to an American place, Mike's Place. It's called a little club right
why
on
do
the
we
beach.
want to do that?
It's got a big history to it. It's very, very cool. But if you go up to Jerusalem, though it's south of Tel Aviv, you're actually going up the mountain. You're in a different world. You are completely in a different world. It's very enigmatic, as I've said. And we have our guy who lives between Jerusalem and Tel Aviv.
Don't go yet.
Our guy on the ground, our dear friend, our 41 minutes after Tom Trento here on the 16th of March, day one of our 3 days of nonstop coverage, except we stop after the hour, okay? But beyond that, it's nonstop coverage. And we're 41 minutes after WSBR Radio, 740 AM. Thank you for watching. I can't talk to this guy right now.
1010 WHFS up in Terror Tide, Tampa Bay area.
Terror Tide, Tampa Bay. And right now, to conclude our people on the ground, we have Arie Egozi. And where is he?
He's right.
I'm here.
He's right there.
I'm here.
I don't see. There he is. Arie, how are you? Good to see you.
I'm good.
Are you
Have
gonna
you,
go to the
have you
wall?
received the story I just sent you about Hezbollah in Iran out of the list?
Damon did, and he.
I sent it to you a few minutes
I'm a little
ago.
busy. I'm a little.
He's just hosting a show, Ari.
I'm
Don't
a
worry
little
about
busy, okay? I'm in the middle of a show. Okay. And it's hard. Wait, hang on, everybody. I'm going to go read the article that Arie just sent me.
it. It's only live radio. Don't worry about it.
Hey, we got something for you. But what you said earlier before the show started was that there's an intelligence report that the NSA has removed, the National Security Agency in America, has removed Hezbollah and the Hamas from the terror list regarding, was it the Hamas too in there?
No.
No, Hezbollah in Iran.
And Iran from the terror list in terms of assisting with the sensitive negotiations. Damon saw that, and I did not have a chance.
In the middle of nuclear negotiations, NSA scraps Iran and Hezbollah as terror threats.
This is crazy.
And the article goes on to say, if this isn't dangerous appeasement, I don't know what is. According to a report in the Times of Israel, the National Intelligence Agency delivered a report to Congress that scraps Iran and Hezbollah from the terrorism list, citing the country's work against ISIS as one of the reasons why.
Obama is an apostate. How can he convert from Sunni to Shia in the middle of an administration?
This is very simple, Ari. Removing Iran and Hezbollah from the U.S. terror list, which political party does that help tomorrow in Israel?
Well, it doesn't help anyone in Israel. It's just pure stupidity. If that will help to get an agreement with Iran, I wonder. And again and again, they break the records of themselves every week with some new stupidity to take Iran and Hezbollah out of the list. On what basis? On what basis? This shows that they are not serious.
Hope and change.
They are a bunch of you know what, and I don't understand it. That really shocked everyone in Israel today to learn that, but this happens every week. A new record.
Well, the thing that hits me immediately is with Herzog and the left trying to recalibrate and downplay the Iranian threat. This is a direct benefit to the left in saying, look, the United States is downplaying the Iranian threat. They're not even terrorists anymore. So the person who has this right is not Netanyahu, who still wants to look at these people as terrorists. Herzog has it right. That's
the
what I see.
Republicans are the only terrorists.
That's what I see there.
I don't think so. I think that this, even Herzog doesn't accept this. But from last minute update, Tzipi Livni has given up the rotation agreement with Herzog. So if he's elected, he's prime minister for the 4 years or less. she gave up 10 minutes ago. She gave up her position for rotation with him if they win. So
Okay, that's some
update.
breaking news here, folks.
Yes.
If the left won, because Herzog and Livni had to form a coalition, they agreed. All right, we'll be co-prime ministers. Couple of years. She just gave it up now because the polling, I'm sure, is showing that more people are interested in him than her. So she's taken herself out of the picture. Most likely, he's cut a deal with her to give her what she wants later on.
Absolutely.
And now there's one person to vote for, essentially leading the party. Good move on the party's part. That's a very slick move at this late hour.
That's a very. It just happened 15 minutes ago, so I can update you on that. Tomorrow is the elections. Yesterday there was a big rally in Tel Aviv of the right parties. It'll be very interesting tomorrow to see what happens. I think that many people will decide in the last minute. And again, as I said in previous shows, most people are really worried about the domestic problems in Israel. Really, domestic problems. They know that Iran, all the other things will be taken care of, but housing and medical care and things like that should be dealt with immediately. And many of my friends, many of the people I talk to, these issues will be in the priority list when they go tomorrow to vote.
I have a question. How is this party supposedly going to just take office and make everything better? It sounds exactly like the doofus that took over 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue in 2008. You can't just create and give things away that don't exist.
Absolutely.
It is absolutely. It is the Obama campaign from 2008 and 12 have brainwashed some of your uninformed voters. And even though there's now a senatorial investigation into One Voice and V15, the damage is done. And I can't believe that a bunch of smart Jews are going to fall for the same crap that we fell for over here.
Yeah, but that all those promises are worth nothing. The day after the coalition is formed, all the politicians will forget what they said on all the TV channels. We know that. But we know one thing for sure. That's a fact. The domestic problems are really heavy, and someone will have to take care of them. It will not be a matter of a week, a month, or even 6 months. These problems are heavy, and young couples, people who served in the army for 3 years, have said that cannot afford to buy even a two-bedroom apartment. The hospitals, not enough beds in hospitals. Not a new hospital has been built in the last 10 years. So there's heavy problems. Together with of course, with the security of Israel, Iran, Hezbollah, Syria, and
Hamas.
things like that. The new government, no matter who is the prime minister, they will have some big headaches immediately after they sit in the office, in the prime minister office.
All right, Arie, we have, in the United States, we have I want to show them the graphic too, but before we do that, in the United States, we have our Hollywood elite, the actors. And if you got 100 actors, 99.99999 are leftists, liberals, basically.
We didn't get to John Voight.
But every once in a while, you find a guy or a gal who gets it, who understands it, and I'm losing my ear. Who has a conservative view of life and a good understanding of who Israel is and where Israel fits into the years, into life throughout the years. For many years, this particular individual, we're going to show you a little video, has been a very, very, very strong supporter of Israel from his early days. There's footage of him when he was in his 30s, 40 years ago, supporting Israel. And he did that yesterday on a little video he put out. And it's going all over the news right now in the United States. We want to show you a 1-minute video by John Voight. You've heard of John Voight.
I saw
right?
it, yes. Yeah, it's very strong, very good.
We're going to play it for our audience, and we're going to let you comment on it right after we play it.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm John Voight. I love Israel. I want to see Israel survive and not be overtaken by the madmen of this world. President Obama does not love Israel. His whole agenda is to control Israel, and in this way he can be friends with all of Israel's enemies. He doesn't want Bibi Netanyahu to win this upcoming election. America has not been the same since his presidency. I beg everyone, all of you, to understand the truth. Those like Yitzhak Herzog, who believe that deal-making is the solution to what Israel faces, are as wrong as Neville Chamberlain believing he made a peace deal with Hitler. We must learn from history where the true danger lies. I pray to God to keep Israel safe, and America as well. Much love to you.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's pretty strong
That's
stuff.
pretty strong.
Very strong video. And and another update. I don't know if you know, President Sisi from Egypt said a few days ago that he has very frequent telephone calls with Bibi Netanyahu. And they talk on the phone. They coordinate the actions in the Sinai Desert against ISIS and Al Qaeda. So this is again a proof that Egypt, as I said, Jordan, Saudi Arabia, UAE understand the real danger of ISIS, and the fact that the Egyptian president says openly that he is coordinating with Bibi Netanyahu a few times a week, he said.
Wow.
This is a very, very important development.
Yeah, that is, and
8 minutes, Tom.
okay. We got a new clock, and I got to move to look at the clock.
Well, here, I actually got a surprise for you, too, Tom.
Oh, great.
You want to see your surprise?
Yeah.
Here we go. Ready?
Wait, and he's bringing me lunch. Way to go. How are you? Nice to see you,
Tom,
sir.
you sure?
Good to see you.
Look at this.
Yeah.
This is only 3 hours old.
Yeah. Watch this, Arie.
We love it.
We are on television.
You're on television, food. You see, this is how many bites I've taken out of it. Nothing.
This is John Voight with Tom
This
Trento
is the
at the
sacrifice you
RNC
make for the
convention.
truth, for the country. This is for the country I've done this.
There's more to that than you can imagine, ladies and gentlemen. We're live streaming Tom Trento with John Voight here on the 27th. Again, I'm stalling so you can take a bite.
No, go ahead.
Come on.
Because the whole
I'm
interview-
Italian. I'm Italian. I'd be insulted if you don't eat while we're talking, okay?
Tommy.
There we go. Take a bite. Enjoy it.
That's right.
Manja. We're here with a true American hero, ladies and gentlemen. Not just a good actor. Anybody can be a good actor.
Yeah,
we got those all over the
We'll
place.
show that.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Not anybody.
What's that?
He took offense. We could show that later, but we wind up drinking a glass of wine together. Arie, that's at the where was that?
That's the
Republican
RNC.
National Convention.
Yeah, I thought that was just a surprise and everything.
Yeah,
so.
we sat down and had a lot of fun with John Voight. He's really a very, very good guy, and he's helped out conservatives and groups we've worked with quite a bit. So I didn't know he was going to do that video. I'm not surprised by any means. We also heard, we only got a couple of minutes left.
6 minutes, Tom.
Just real quickly, let's show him the graphic. Damon found this fascinating graphic. I want you to take a look at it. Kind of give us your feel as to how the parties are going to align, what Herzog is going to do, and what Netanyahu would do. You see that graphic in front of you?
Yes.
Have you seen that before?
Yes, I've seen that before. If there's no six seats or 7-6 gap between Herzog and Netanyahu, it will be very hard for Herzog to form a coalition. He needs at least 7 votes gap from Netanyahu to try and form a coalition. It will be very hard for any of them to form a coalition because of the small and very small parties. Each will get 5, 6, 7, 8 votes, seats in Knesset, mandates, as we call it. The coalition forming will be a very, very hard task this time, unless there is a big surprise tomorrow at 10 o'clock, our time, when the polls will be released based on people who go out of the voting place and put the same thing in a test box. It'll be it's a tricky time. I think that even the biggest experts are not sure 100% what the outcome will be tomorrow. And tomorrow night, at 10 o'clock, we'll sit in front of the TV screen and we'll see what happens. But again, this is democracy with all the bad things, the war that came to peaks that we never witnessed in the past. This is democracy at its best. People go freely to vote for what they believe in. And I think that that's above all. That's above every other thing. This is democracy. I'll go tomorrow to a nearby school. I have a note from the commission. I know exactly the place that I have to vote. I'll show my ID card and I put my vote into the box. And no tricks, nothing. It's being controlled 100%. And that's why we can expect some surprises tomorrow night.
All right. That's a beautiful way to conclude your segment. This is Democracy in Action, and it's kind of squirrely at times. Arie Egozi, what? You
I had a quick question.
Okay.
Barry
make it
mentioned
fast.
that,
We got about a minute left.
had mentioned there's a good possibility that there will be no coalition formed, hence no government. Will the neighbors, the not-so-nice neighbors of Israel, look to take advantage of a country that doesn't have a leadership in place? Will they look...
No. According to the Israeli law, until a new government is formed, the previous government is still in place. There's no vacuum, nothing like that.
Oh, so there's not a vacuum.
I don't think they will dare. They will be knocked on their head in seconds. I don't think that any of the Arab countries will try to take advantage of that because they know what will happen next.
Okay. All right, good point, Arie. We'll see you tomorrow. Exciting stuff, ladies and gentlemen. Day one of our 3-day coverage. Arie Egozi on the ground. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
All right, take care. Yeah, this is amping up. Let me tell you, the situation is complex. I wanted to talk to him a little bit about the threat in the southern part of Israel, in the Eilat area during Passover. But we'll stay focused on the election. What do you guys think? Tomorrow's the big day. By the time we are on the air, it'll be winding down in Israel. If you got to vote right now, or if you got to guess right now,
Netanyahu.
Well, I'm wondering if the polls are skewed like they were here because if Obama's involved in the whole polling and everything else like that, I got the feeling the polls are pushed off to.
I agree.
Direction.
I think that Israelis are smart enough and they're going to vote for Netanyahu.
So hold up your little Obama head there and talk to him, Tom. Tell him stay out of the Israeli.
What are you doing? How does such an incompetent individual create so much chaos worldwide? How do you do that?
Because liberalism is an illness, and it spreads like the Kenyan flu.
All right, folks. Tom Trento, your
seconds.
host. No, we got a minute there.
Oh, a minute and a half. I'm sorry.
Yeah. We're cool. I'm just kind of relaxing, trying to take it all in. The election is tomorrow. It's also St. Patrick's Day. What did St. Patrick do? Did he...
He chased the snakes
out of Ireland,
right?
chased the Jews out of Ireland. Is that what he did?
Chased the Jews out of Ireland.
Yeah, that's what he did. Did you hear that?
Oh, then I will be Irish for the day.
Did you hear that?
Imam?
The Atlantic magazine has an article. It's a time for the Jews to leave Europe. I mean,
yes,
seriously.
I saw it.
Oh, God.
There's a big article. I didn't look at it, but the Atlantic is writing some conservative stuff. They may be saying the anti-Semitism is so bad in Europe.
Galloway.
What are you guys doing there? Take your assets, your valuables, your who you are, put it into your homeland. I know Ganoe gets furious with Jewish people that won't come home. He's there. He's telling everybody, come to your homeland. Come to your homeland,
I'm coming, Tom. I'll be there
You'll
in a
be
week.
there. I'm coming, Mama. I'm coming.
Only I'm too old to fight.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be leaving for Israel the end of this week, and we're going to do our shows from Israel. That's the plan. But we're also going to do a second show called Damon Goes to Israel. Our token Jewish guy in the control booth with our token Unitarian, our token Jewish guy's never been to Israel. So
That's pretty sad a Unitarian's been before
but that's going to be our second show. Damon goes to Israel. Stay tuned for that. That's going to be funny. See ya. Bye.
Bye.